Okay, in this next tutorial, we're going to do two things. We're going to animate this cube so to make it move, but it's still tracked on the surface of the picture. But also what we're going to do is we're going to use a mask material that effectively will hide the 3D object if the 3D object is behind a masked object. And that'll give you the ability to make things appear and disappear, let's say from a wall, so make it look like the 3D object is appearing from outside the wall. So the first thing is we'll just do a bit of animation. So we've got the object selected, and I'm just going to create some animation for it. So if we first of all go to Window and bring up the animation window, and we'll just snap that to where it's supposed to go. There we go. And very straightforward, you've got the object selected, you click on create, and again it'll make it inside the project, so we'll call it cube animation. So it's created the animation now. I'm going to add a property, and I'm going to create a transform, and we're just going to deal with position. Okay, so as you can see, it creates two keyframes, one at 0 and one at the default setting, which is let's have a look. It's 1 second. Okay, and if you want to make that over a more longer period, we can just, with the Alt key down, you can drag. So let's do it over 2 seconds. So let's just move that slider to the 2 second mark. There we go. 2 seconds. And if you want to see all the frames, just move that slider at the bottom there. So there's your 2 seconds. So we want this to alternate. We want it to go drop down inside behind the picture and then back up again. So what we'll do is I'll put the record button on, move the slider to 1 second, and then move the object below the picture, and then it should come back up again. Yes. Okay, so we can test that. Click on the play button. Okay, so stop that. Obviously you can make this longer and make it pause, or you can turn around, but we've got the animation playing now, so we'll stop that from recording. So that's the animation sorted, and we can test this out. So you've got the object selected, that's animated, and as you can see here that it's got an animation on it. Okay, and we can test that out now. So if we click on the play button, and obviously bring up that image again, you can have a look what it looks like. As you can see, we're getting the cube animating, and if I move, you can see. Now what's odd, because the cube is animating, the actual placeholder image isn't there. Okay, it's just tracking it. So we want the ability to make it look like the cube is disappearing behind that sheet. This is where we use the mask object. Okay, so I'll just stop that. So how to make a mask object? Dead easy. Go to project. First of all, we need to create a new material. So right click and go to create material. call it mask material. And with the material selected, if you go to standard shaders, because shaders are little computer programs that determine the appearance of the object. So there's lots of different ones. And if you go right to the bottom, there's one called depth mask. And that's what we want. Okay, so you've made your depth mask material. And now we need something to mask out this object. So we're going to go to game object, 3D object, and we're going to use a plane. And obviously the plane's a bit too big, so we'll just scale that down. So we'll scale that down. Now obviously we need the plane to be big enough to obscure the cube. Okay, so it's a bit of trial and error you changing this, but same again, the plane needs to be also tracked on the image target. So drag the plane and just drop that onto image target. And then finally all we need to do is just make sure the plane is selected and then drop the material onto the plane. And you'll notice the plane disappears. Okay. And if we go to the animation mode for the cube, you can actually see what's happening. Have you noticed as I play the animation, the cube actually disappears because it's not rendered, because it goes behind the plane. Okay, so effectively it hides it. Might just need to tweak the plane position, so I'll just move that downwards a little bit more, so we see, so that just sits on top of there, and then move this along, and then you'll see the effect of what's going to happen. Okay, so we can play that back now in the webcam. And I'll just bring up the picture. So as you can see now, the cube is appearing and disappearing. Now, if you think about it, if this picture was on a wall and we pointed our mobile phone or our tablet at it, it would seem as though the object was appearing and disappearing from the wall. Okay, that's because it's using the mask object to hide the rendering of the cube when it goes behind the mask. So you can have a go at doing that.